Hmm. Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night spirits. Yeah. Did the cat come back yet? Yeah, she's here. Hey, welcome to Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. Good to see everybody coming in here. This is our late night show here on the evenings. And you might have seen us in some morning shows. We're trying to do something during the day. Hey, Marinee, everybody coming in. April, Trass, everybody. Hello, hello, hello to all. Good to have you all with us. Alex, Jan R., Craig, Alex. Let's see here. Marinee, Scott, everybody. Wherever you are, you're not too far around the planet. Rick and Nikki, welcome to the show. Excuse me. So we're going to have another great show. All the shows we've done, last night's show and this morning's show are on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. We had some phenomenal interviews last night and this morning. And tonight's going to be another spontaneous night where I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. Yes, thank you, Jen R. It was certainly this morning I did a show, and we had a great interview this morning as well. So, and we just have great people out there around the world that are coming forward and telling their stories, and that's what it's really all about, besides the fact that I have information. And my apple cider. Of course, the apple cider. So welcome to Encounters. If you're new to the show, we are usually nightly at 11 o'clock or after 11, a little bit after. And sometimes we take a night off because the commander needs to do that to regenerate, you know, like we all do. And we're just glad to be with you tonight. I hope you're going to enjoy the show. Please follow and like. Really important that everybody taps. Please share and like. I'm going to do that too here. Hey, Scooby, good to see you. Let's see here. Oh. And we are on, as we say on radio, we're on the air, so to speak. And now my TikTok's back to where it was before. So we're just going to send some things out here. Good to have you all with us. I wish my friend would come on the show, but it's too risky because he's been threatened, unfortunately. Ooh, that's not good. Is your friend's in the government, Ashley? Is he in the government? Is that what it is? I think you mentioned something about that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's too bad, you know. Justin, welcome to the show. But you know what? We're doing good. And hey, Thomas, welcome everybody out there. Let's get everything amped up here. Please share and like. Hey, Cassie, good to see you. El Quitter, Jay Quitter, maybe? I don't know. Velvet, welcome to the show. Hey, Chesno, good to see you, brother. Boss Talker, Loria. Hey, Chesno, good to see you, brother. Hey, Lori. Mike Masters. Hey, Mike. Angry. I think it's Skitzler. Kevin Lockridge. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Mike Masters. Good evening to you. Viva Las Vegas. There you go. I would say Viva Las Vegas. Elizabeth Cruz. D Walk. Jasmine. Welcome, Jasmine. Thomas. Hey, Thomas. Mary. Everybody out there. If I haven't mentioned your name, Babs, thanks for the share. Hello, Terry. Carol Susie Q. Welcome to the show. Divine Arising. I like that name. Dino C. Lynette. Hey, Lynette. Troy Rocket. I see some new names here. You're watching Encounters. If you're new to my show, it is actually a show. Thank you, Babs. It's a show that is dealing with the spiritual aspects of the whole UFO thing. Everything from encounters to visitations, people that have had abductions, people that are We've talked about Antarctica. We've talked about the Garther Network, the Inner Earth civilizations. I'm the man from Mars, Catherine Johnson. Good to see you. So I am the man from Mars, originally from Mars, here on Earth. I am also an Ashtar commander from off planet. I'm also operating in Christ, cosmically Christed consciousness. Hey, good to have you with us. There we are, 247. It was good to have you with us on this morning, and we did a complete interview with him. And you can hear and actually watch the interview we did on my YouTube channel. We had a phenomenal interview, and it was great. And that's on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. All my shows are recorded from TikTok, which records everything, and then I transfer the shows over to my YouTube channel. Hey, J&M, good to see you. Good to see you, J&M. Jonathan, Carrie Lou. J&M, good to see you. It's Matrix busting time, that's right. And if you're watching this show, not only do I bust the worldwide matrix, but I will actually bust individual matrices of people that might be coming here that are stuck in the 3D matrix. I will bust that matrix. Ray True, thank you for the cheer you up. I like that. Hey Stan, good to see you. Ray True, thank you for the cheer you up. Patty, hello Patty. Bree Bree, hey Bree Bree. Rebel Fan 68. Some interesting names here. Cindy Lou, who? Greta, hey Greta. All the good people coming in here from around the world. C. Tate, Galactic Palladian. That's a good name, Galactic Palladian. Laura J, Billy, I think it's Billy, user 872, Allison Marie. The list goes on and on and on. If I don't mention any names or, hey, Spaced, it's just good to have you all with us. I do see you coming in here, people. So I'm going to say a big hello to the whole world on Encounters, okay? And it's definitely an interesting time to be alive. Hey, Stan. We'll be eventually getting some interviews. Heather Hiker. Hello, Heather Hiker. Darlene, good to see you. Ariel Griffin. Hey, Ariel. Andrew Bartis. Truly Sunshine, I think it is. I jumped on my other account. Oh, good. There you go. And Ariel was on my show this morning. We had a really cool interview, and we had a lot of good interaction, and it was just, you get to see the interview with him on my YouTube channel. It was phenomenal. Hey, Poodle. Rozzy, I think it is. Young Skywalker. Everyone out there, wherever you are, welcome. As the night goes on, you'll see the numbers of people coming in here. For some reason, as we go later into the evening, we'll be on from here till about 1 a.m. for 2 hours. And for 2 hours, we'll be probably interacting with a lot of different people. We'll be doing some interviews. The commander will present you with information, ask you questions, and hopefully get your responses. Lady Lynx, Dandra, welcome to the Scooby-Doo. Hey, Scooby-Doo. I did not see, I'm still waiting to find the link of the UFO in New York. If somebody sends me the link, I would like to look for that UFO. Scooby, I'd like to see it. If you have the link, send it to me. Time Shot. Hey. Hey, Tim. Good to see you. Grasshopper. Lawrence. Hey, Jojo. Are you seeing my comments? TC, I'm not seeing your comments until just now. It's the weirdest thing. TikTok filters comments, so I don't see the comment. I see you saying, are you seeing my comments? But I can't see what you're saying. Oh, Scooby, that'd be great. Frosty Pedro E. K Bugs. So we'll see what's happening now. There's two people on my queue here. Stardust always. Hey, Edward. So TZ, we're going to bring TZ up here. Now, let me also mention that you have to be over 18. No kids on the show. No smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no paranormal discussion, no cursing or any of that stuff. We want to keep it as professional as the commander can on Encounters. So we'll bring TZ on, I think, and then we'll go Lawrence Spears, I think it is. I'll go TZ first. And of course, wouldn't you know, my screen goes dark on me. I need to move the camera. So we're going to move the camera into an area where I have some light. All right, TZ, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Not too much. And tell us where you are. Whereabouts in the U.S. are you?
I'm out of Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. We have a lot of people in Houston that watch the show. So tell us about your background and what you wanted to talk about.
My background is I am a occupational health and environmental health and safety engineer, and I've worked my way up through the ranks. Now I'm overseeing occupational environmental health and safety globally at multiple manufacturing locations. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, seeing that the topic at hand, UFO contact. What do you think UFOs are?
It's a good question. So there's a lot of answers to that, and I'll give you an answer for each category of what a UFO is. So initially, UFOs were always considered unidentified flying objects. In the 40s, during Roswell, they weren't called UFOs, they were called flying saucers. That was the first terminology. And over time, about a couple years ago, the Pentagon decided to change the title from UFOs to Tic Tacs. So there's really no such thing as a Tic Tac. That was just a terminology that we made, not we personally, but somebody in the Pentagon in the UFO ufology area decided that would be the changeover. Now, what
Sure.
are UFOs? Well, there's a bunch of categories. Some are reverse engineered technology by our government that's given to them by lower vibrational ETs. The other ones are extraterrestrial spaceships that are truly out of this world from other planets. They're actually spaceships. Um, and then there are others that are like sort of like translucent type craft that don't have a solid form in our frequency of understanding. So there's a couple of different types. Also, when you deal with UFOs or what they call non-terrestrial UFOs, those would be spaceships from other particular dimensions, realms, planets beyond Earth. But the ones that are UFOs that are, or what I call identified flying objects, are ones that are reverse engineered by our government with the help of negative ETs.
Interesting. Because I do find it interesting that if there's an existence of life from another planet and there are beings of that are intelligent, I wonder why they won't make themselves known publicly.
Well, they actually have throughout the billions of years of Earth's history. There have been many advanced civilizations when they did live here. Atlantis, Lemuria, the land of Mu, before the Egyptian Empire. There was before that was a desert-like area. There were actually very advanced civilizations living there. When Egypt happened, when you did Inca civilization, the Aztec, the Mayans, they were all having contact with space people at one point in time. That's how they were able to do the things they did. And then those space people eventually left, but they gave them the knowledge of what to do initially. So there's been interaction with space people or space beings for billions of years. In current human history, there's been interactions in our current history, 70 years. There was a thing called the contactee movement in Giant Rock. So people like George Van Tassel, these are key names, they're not around anymore, used to have gatherings in the desert at Giant Rock, and people who wrote books of their journals, these are people that were taken on spaceships by human beings that were very spiritual. They called them flying objects or flying saucers, but they were spaceships, and they were different types. So this is all part of our history of contact movement, which is part of the whole UFO subject matter, the contactees. Those people, many of them are dead now. Some of them are still alive, but many of them wrote their own journals and books that are out of print. You can't find them. Uh, what you're seeing is also the abduction scenario that happened through our last 70 years. That was part of the lower vibrational ETs being given opportunities to abduct humans in reverse engineering technology from these ETs was given to the Pentagon and people in top security cosmic clearance to have scientists work on their technology to create reverse engineer spaceships. And they're limited still because they can only go within our universe. They're not able to go beyond our universe in terms of the technology. So let's see. Continue on. I just wanted to give you some information on that because I have a lot of information on a lot of the stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. The other thing is, if you look at a lot of things that are challenging our existence, why do you think that if they're that intelligent to, travel um two different um galaxies, why don't they give us the technology to solve some of our problems that we are facing currently?
They had the chance. We had a chance to have that done. Excuse me. We had a chance to have that done during General Eisenhower and during the Roosevelt administration. They were both of those people were visited by the Ashtar Command, which I work with, which are the human beings that are spiritual beings of light that are positive, that are very high in their cosmic consciousness. They were also visited by the Zeta and other beings that were lower vibration in this particular realm of universe. And that group wanted to say, okay, you can abduct people, but can we have your can you give us your technology so we can make some of these reverse engineered electronical crafts or spaceships that you have? And they agreed to do that. So they knew the better option was to go with the Ashtar Command. They knew that would help our planet and we would not be in the same situation we are now. But they choose, our government people chose to go, the two presidents chose to go with the negative ETs. The other part of it is that the space people are coming back they are here already. They live amongst us incognito. They live in our oceans, in the depths of our seas. There are space cities that humans don't know about by the spiritual beings. They've been living here for a long time. And then there's also many space people coming from other planets here now, getting ready for direct contact with the people of Earth. You might not have heard about this. I am part of a group of 5 that are going to be initiating um, the ability for this to occur. And in this show here, there's 4 other people, and some of them are on here now. Chesno, one of my friends here in Connecticut, he's part of our group of 5. And we're going to be going off planet with the Ashtar Command to facilitate and learn things that we need to bring back to the people of Earth that will help facilitate direct contact, which will be happening in about roughly a year and a half. Are you still there?
Yeah. No, I'm just taking in what you're saying.
Yeah, so you might not have known about this. I've been involved in as a contactee since the 60s. I met the 5 people that I'm involved with. I met a lot of people, but the group of 5, including my friend Chesno, Johnny, he's not here, I don't think, Kit Kat, and our friend April in Vermont. She is the key person for our group of 5, but in other parts of the world, there'll be other groups of 5. And what's going to happen is our group of 5 will be eventually going off planet. Our friend April has been off planet over 50 times now in northern Vermont on a spaceship of the Ashtar Command. She's been going and she's been into the oceans where where the people live, the mer people live. She's seen a lot of things, and we're going to be participating roughly in that. Probably way before contact, we'll be actually going off planet to join her at some point soon.
Huh. When it comes to technology, I mean, I wonder, those that you have contact with. Well, I mean, we're facing multiple problems from the solutions that Musk is working on with Neuralink. That's one. Global warming, 2. Nuclear, WAR. That's 3. And mortality that causes people to perish. Those are the 4 things that I'm referencing.
Yeah, and with Elon Musk, we don't trust him very much. I don't put any trust in these people. Their agendas are not the same agenda as that of our space people. Their agendas are way different. Do not trust him. The agendas of the spiritual beings of light, the space people that we're in connection with, are here to help our planet, and you're not to trust these people at all. Any of these scientists or any of these people like Musk, Elon Musk, do not trust him. We read energy of people, and I read his energy a long time ago. He's not to be trusted.
All right. What about the other issues that like humanity is facing?
Yeah, so the issues of the environment, which are important, the issues of a planet that has been bombed upon with nuclear bombs since World War II, the destruction of the beauty of our planet, um, it will change. It will change because we are going to be the ones that have to change it. So it's up to the human beings to, on Earth, be participants in helping this planet. We can't, it's not going to be our space people that are going to fix everything. They're going to come and teach us how we can better ourselves as a planet, but they're not going to do all the fixing. They're not going to put band-aids around everything. When I try to help people on this show here, that when contact happens, there's going to be a transition from the way things are to the way things will be. And that transition includes billions of human beings that are going to have to take participation and not sit on the side. It's like when you go to a sports game or baseball game, you're rooting for a team, right? Or you go to a soccer game, you're rooting for a team, but you're not playing the game. You're sitting on the sideline saying, "Oh yeah, you can do it." They're the ones doing it while you're just, yelling and screaming. What I'm trying to say, my analogy is that we as people on this planet are going to be responsible for the transitioning of the way things were to the way things will be. The space people will assist us, but they're not going to do it for us.
Well, I know that you talked a little bit more about Musk. Now, I've met him and his right hand man due to the interviews that I've had with two of his companies. One being SpaceX, the other one is the Boring Company. I didn't really get a bad vibe when I met them for these two jobs. And can you explain a little bit more about your
Right.
position over these guys?
Yes. Yes, because a person like that can, put any kind of energy they want. If you read a book, you can have a cover showing a beautiful picture of a mountain with a waterfall on it. Then inside the book, when you start reading it, you start saying, wait, what happened to the waterfall, the beautiful picture? Oh, the images of what's in the picture don't seem to correlate with what I'm reading in chapter one. What I'm trying to say to you is that Elon Musk can put on a face for anybody he wants to. He knows how to work the media the way he wishes to. If you interview him, I'm sure he's going to put on the best face possible to make it look good. But his energy is not what it appears to be. His energy is not of that level of light in which our space people are coming here to assist Earth. His whole thing is he wants to conquer space. He wants to go to Mars and he wants to, basically do whatever he wants on Mars. And it's not going to happen because I'm from Mars. I can tell you that that will never be allowed by the Martian population of Elon Musk to be able to do what he wants. And there's even been other people on this Earth who have power and money that want to colonize Mars. You can't colonize a planet that is a planet where people are living. You can't do that. But that's the way certain people in power on this planet think, that they can just conquer and take over whatever they want and do the same thing they did to this planet to another planet. It's not going to be allowed. It's against universal law, and the Ashtar Command won't even allow it. The space
So,
people.
are you saying Mars is already terraformed?
Yes, I'm saying Mars. I said you. Yeah, I'm saying that you've been lied to about Mars. Mars has an atmosphere of a blue atmosphere. Mars has a planet, and even NASA, which is very surprising, just this morning it was on the news. If they didn't talk about it, but I've talked about this, and people know what I'm talking about water on Mars. There are oceans within Mars. There are lakes and streams inside Mars's in the planetary system. There is waterways on the surface of Mars that have been seen, but a lot of that's been covered up by NASA in the photos that are sent back to the Earth and that are put on the website. So what I'm telling you is that you've been lied to by a lot of levels here, and that Mars is a living planet. People, about 10 to 15 million Martians live on the planet, and they are certainly independent. They are very spiritual beings of light. They don't live the way we do on Earth. They care about their planet, and yes, there are definitely oceans and seas on Mars, on the planet Mars.
Where does the Hadron Collider fit in this?
I know about the Hadron Collider. I don't support any of that stuff. The CERN projects and all that stuff is bad. Those scientists that created it, some of them probably know now that what they created was a monster. It should have never been created. Uh, all that stuff, all that technology was not being used for the positive, for the humanity of our planet. Let's put it this way. All that stuff should be totally dismantled.
I mean, they just put a brand new engine and it spent the last 2 or 3 years upgrading it. And not too long ago, they put it first back in operation.
Yeah, I don't support any of that. Again, you have to understand, I come from off planet. From where I come from, none of that stuff should be done. If they want to do something, they should just stop doing it, wait till contact happens, and learn some stuff from the space people. That's what they need to do.
All right, last question. So when you look at the U.S. government, and they're recently, hinting at UFOs, why are they coming out now?
Why is the government coming out about the UFOs?
Yeah.
Because they have to. I'll tell you something that's going on. I don't have to be in the Pentagon to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you stuff that's going on. There is a big battle going on within every level of every government around the world that knows about what's going on with the spaceships and the UFOs and the space people, because we have to include them into the equation of the so-called UFO. The subject is more than just a spaceship. You're talking about intergalactic travel. You're talking about space people that have come from other planetary systems through other dimensions of existence. So what you're talking about here is, and it's a great question, is that there's a battle going on in between the old guard, whether it be the Ministry of Defense in England, China, France, wherever it is, the younger generation, I can't say all of them, but the young generation that has the security clearance, that as these older people die off, they don't want to see a cover up of the subject anymore. So it's a big battle going on between generals and other people in the Pentagon here in this country, and behind the scenes is a big fight going on right now over telling the people the truth. All right. So don't wait for the governments of the world to tell you the truth about ufology, about ETs, about life elsewhere in the universe. If you're going to wait for them, you're going to be waiting for another 100,000 years, because they're not going to tell you anything. But I'll tell you here that we are going to have contact on this planet, and they're afraid of it. The people in the Pentagon, I'm going to straight out say it, they're afraid. The people that want to control the scenario, they are afraid. And they're afraid of us. I'm sure some of the government people know about this show. They're afraid of what we've been talking about since 2023, since I've been on here and on my radio show for 21 years. So I'm basically saying I am the real deal. I have information. I don't go on one websites. I don't even look at websites what other human beings write, because it's all their agenda. I get my information directly off planet. I don't channel anything. I don't have a pendulum. All my information is integrated. I get it all the time. But don't wait for the UFO group at the Pentagon to tell you the truth, because it's never going to happen. Or the Ministry of Defense in England, it's never going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to be the ones here to disseminate the information on this broadcast, on my radio show when the time comes. Anything that's going to happen, we'll tell you right here on the show.
So have they shared anything about the afterlife?
Well, we don't really get into the space people about the afterlife. So we don't get into the paranormal, but I will tell you this: when you leave your physical human body, when that time comes, there's a thing called, if you're totally awake, and you'll understand this as you wake up. That's a good question. So human beings that are human here on Earth, those that are awake in starseed, we call it, have bodies off planet in spaceships that are in stasis. So you have the human body, and then you have the body in stasis. Your body in stasis is a little bit taller than your human self, and that body can be thousands upon thousands of years old. And when you go back into that body, you wake up and you're looking like you're 20 or 30 years old. So there's not really an ending of life. There's no death. It's just basically you live this experience, and you have a choice to go back into your space body or come back and have another lifetime on Earth or on whatever planet you want to, you're coming from. So those are options that one will have once there is contact.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Hey, you asked me some great questions, CZ. Thanks for the questions. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. I appreciate you, TZ. Thank you. And we're going to see who the next person is here. And we have Lawrence is next. Lawrence, I'm going to welcome Lawrence to the Encounter Show, #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And let's see here. Hopefully, let's see what happens as soon as TikTok stops doing what it's doing. The person said, I lost you, Dirty Santa Claus. That's an interesting name. So when I say I'm from Mars, that means before I came here as a human being, I lived on Mars. That's what I'm saying, Santa. I lived on Mars. I came here. I volunteered to come to Earth. I'm a starseed. If you don't know what that is, a starseed is somebody who came from a planet and came here to live here and have the human experience. Oh, really? Let me see. My gift goal, I have to probably set it. Wait a minute. Oh, we lost that person. Oh, we're going to set the goals here. I didn't set them. Wait a minute. I'm going to pin the goals here. The coffee magic, I just pinned it. Sarah says, oh, there it goes. Mike Masters, thank you. So I do have coffee available. Mike Masters, thank you. I'll be awake all night with the coffee, sure. That's really good. Man, that coffee has a lot of caffeine in it, so I'm doing good here. Star Girl, wow. Sarah says, thank you. Wow. All this coffee, man. You're going to have me amped up all night. I appreciate that. Let me, Michelle says, well, a lot of them actually are ETs and the others are manipulated with fear. We're from the stars, Rachel, absolutely true. I want to believe. Well, if you stick with this show, Dirty Santa Claus, you'll be a convert in time. Lisa Love wants to know if she's from Mars. So Lisa, when you meditate tonight, Kit Kat, that was really good coffee, Kit Kat. Thank you. If you want to know you're from Mars, Lisa, all you have to do is go within and meditate. And if you do that, you ask your higher self tonight when you have time, just go and meditate, take a couple deep breaths, go within and say, I want to know if I'm from Mars. Ask your higher self. The higher self knows everything. So if you go within tonight, I guarantee you'll get the answer. And you already know the answer because you must be feeling it. So go within and you'll have confirmation when you do meditation about yourself being from Mars. Oh, Dirty Santa Claus. It's a lot to take in. I got you, brother or sister. I don't know if you're a guy or girl, but it definitely it's a lot to take in. But in time, as you keep watching this show, you definitely will learn a lot here. And I guarantee you, take your time with it. It's a lot to take in. I understand it, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, Soulfully Sweet. Good to see you. I will definitely check the video, Scooby-Doo. Let me see. I'm just reading comments here. Commander, can I bring my spaceship family dreams back? If you go within and meditate, I'm pretty sure you could. Just go within, just go within, meditate from a higher self aspect, and I think you'll bring them back in time. Moon says, I love you, and we send our love back to you. How do you get to the higher self? Edna, great question. Matter of fact, Edna, let's bring you up here. We'll bring Edna up here if she wants to come up. I will answer your question directly live, Edna, if you wish to come up. We'll definitely do it. But just in case you're not coming up, basically you go within. Within you is a higher self. The higher self is within every human body. It's called the higher self. I call it the light body, the higher self. If you go within and meditate and just breathe in, breathe out of your nostril a couple of times when you have time. Sit there, put in some ambient meditation music, and go within. When you're meditating, you're connecting with your higher self. When you're not meditating, you're connecting with your brain. When you're meditating, you're connecting with your higher self. It's part of who you are. I'm a moon man myself. Let's see here. Hello, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Yes. EL, welcome. Yeah, Zach, I'm gonna put you in here, man. I do see you. I don't know how to the other guy, but we'll bring you on here. I think it's Zeke. I thought we were gonna bring Zeke in here. They just disappeared. All right, so here's how it works. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Please tap, everybody tap the screen. We're at 36.6. We want to get up to 100,000 likes. Please like and share, and please follow the program. Let's see who I got here. Is that Zeke? All right, we're going to try it again. It's working this time on the number one spiritual UFO talk show, Zeke. I think it is Zeke, right?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show, Zeke. And whereabouts are you?
I'm in Utah.
Utah. Well, welcome from Utah to the show. And give us some background of in the context of our discussions here. What would you like to share with our audience, or questions you might have, or whatever?
So I do believe in aliens myself, since like I guess encountered some, but I just want to know your point. Like, what is your life about?
Well, first of all, I always like to tell people there are no aliens. That's an Earth-based terminology. There are non-terrestrial beings, space people, space beings, light beings, but aliens don't exist. It's just more Hollywood stuff. So I'm interested to know. Tell me about your ET encounters. You said you've met some. Were you abducted? Were you contacted? How did that happen? I think people would want to know that.
Well, like I just seen them like 50 feet, 50 to 70 feet away, and like they landed like on the mountain, and like it was like a type of UFO craft.
Okay. And do you remember what the UFO craft looked like, or the spaceship looked like to you?
Like it literally looked like kind of like what the picture is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for real.
Okay, so I see you laughing. Are you serious? Or
Yeah,
are you?
I'm being
Or are you?
no, I'm being
Okay.
serious. This isn't like
Okay.
Bear Lake in Utah.
Okay, in Utah. Okay. So now, in terms of the beings, or the space beings, or the ETs, what did they look like?
So I did just see like shadows get off, like two shadows, but I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see from like to be honest, I couldn't see them. Like I was like 50,
Right.
70 feet away from the
Well,
mountain.
yeah.
The mountain was
Well, you're
like
distant. Yeah.
800 feet
So
high.
yeah.
It wasn't
So
that tall.
you so but and was the craft like bright, or was it luminous, or what was it looking like?
So it did have like a light on the bottom. That's how I knew that it wasn't like a helicopter, one of us, because it wasn't blinking and it just landed. They like did
Mm-hmm.
something, hopped on, and like it went like 30,000 feet high, and then after that it just like sped up like in the speed of light type thing. And,
And it completely disappeared.
yeah,
So
and I
you
seen
had
it like
you had
instantly.
you had an encounter, which is pretty interesting. What year was that? Do you remember?
Maybe like 2016. 2016.
2016. How
Yeah.
old were you then? How old were you then, back then?
Um, Probably like 15, 4, yeah, 15, 14.
Okay, so how old are you now?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay, at least you're over
So
18,
I
so
was like
that's
young.
good.
I
Yeah,
was young,
that's
but I
okay.
was not seeing this.
But no, kids do see stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, I was probably a little bit younger than you were, in the
Hmm.
60s, and I had a spaceship in a cul-de-sac. I was downstairs with my brother, older brother, and my parents. I went upstairs to my brother's room, opened up the window, and there's a spaceship hovering right at ground level with human beings in light blue spacesuits. So I can understand what you're saying. You're a teenager,
Are
and
you
it
being
was
for real?
just before my. Yeah, I'm very serious about this. I had this sighting in the 1960s, and I've seen many spaceships. I've had a spaceship encounter in Connecticut back in
Hmm.
the 80s that was as big as two football fields, hovering above a wooded area above a condo complex. I was coming out of a club doing reggae music when
Hmm.
albums, before there was any internet, before there was any cell phones. with TikTok and all this, and I was done setting my stuff up for the weekend. I come out into this parking lot where there's a supermarket across the parking lot, and then there's all woods behind it. And I all of a sudden heard a voice tell me, "Look up." As I'm coming out, I see a huge spaceship with four tubular bottoms,
Mhm.
lights blinking like crazy, circling above a condo complex about 1,000 feet or less above it, and going slowly spinning. I'm in my Ford Taurus or whatever it was, and I sit there and I'm looking at this thing, and all of a sudden two beams of light come out and start doing geometry above me. Thank you. And I always remembered it. I didn't have any way of recording it. If I had a TikTok back then in the 80s, I could have streamed it live and recorded it, but I had nothing. I wasn't expecting it, but I heard a voice loud and clear tell me in plain English, "Look up." When as soon as I walked out, the ship was right there hovering above on the top of a large hill above a condo complex. And it was there for 35 minutes.
Dude, like I believe that. It just sounds crazy if you like tell anyone. You know what I mean?
No, not anymore. 30 years later, people are less likely to think things are crazy, even though, look, let's put it this way. When the Air Force and the Pentagon tell the public, they're starting to tell the truth about the fact that Air Force pilots recorded on their radar UFOs, which they have. You probably have never seen them. If you go to even the Pentagon site, they've released a very little bit of stuff,
Yeah.
but they haven't told the truth. What they're telling you is they knew about the UFOs and these spaceships for 70 years before you were born. The thing is, we've been lied to and lied to and lied to by the people that are running governments around the world. My show here is about disclosure. We have people here having contact with space people, physical contact, and there's a lot going on. And on this show here, if you watch it enough, you're going to learn a lot of stuff here.
So, what do you where do you think these type of creatures like come from? Are they from
Well, then,
Earth or are they
well,
out
they're
of
not. They're not even creatures. That's another thing. They're not aliens. They're not creatures. They're beings. So they're lower vibrational
so
beings. Lower vibrational ETs are like the reptilian, the Zeta. There's one or two other groups. They come from the third dimension. They have spaceships, but they are not advanced in their spiritual thinking. They don't even care about that. Then you have on the other side of the coin, the beings like the ones I saw when I was a kid in the spaceship with light blue outfits,
wow.
about 7 to 8 feet tall. They're human. They're not creatures. And I have to always educate people about the wording. They're not creatures. These are different levels of intelligence. Some are lower intelligence but have advanced spaceships. And then there are the other ones, which I work with, the Astral Command, which are spiritual beings of light that come from other planetary systems. And they've been around for eons of time before human existence here on Earth. There's a lot to it.
So okay. So are you made from God?
Yeah, everyone's made from God. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
is. The thing is, God created everybody in the multiverse. God didn't,
Yeah.
people on Earth. The one thing with Earth is people think God just made Earth and made life on Earth, and I have to bust that matrix. God is not selfish. God did not
Right?
say, okay, we have all these planets that are going to be dead, and there's going to be one planet with life on it called Earth. If anybody out there truly believes that, I need to bust your matrix tonight. The fact is that God created love and light and life everywhere in the universe. And at that point, then it's up to the individual planets to decide what they're going to be and what they're going to do. Earth went through many galactic changes in the billion. We're billions of years old, our planet. And being billions of years old, there's been Atlantis, there's been Lemuria, there's been the land of Mu. If you study all the ancient civilizations that were advanced on this planet, they were here. They came and gone. We had ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And now,
Mm-hmm.
as you knew the show, we're getting ready for direct contact with the positive space people in about a year and a half from now. The original timeline was 2728. It's now going to be
Oh.
2025, 2026. And we're going to be giving people the most information of any social media on this program here. This is where you're going to get it, not on a big YouTube channel with a UFO show, which with green lights or whatever in a big
Yeah.
studio. It's going to be happening here without all the fancy stuff. We're going to tell you what's going on.
That's nice, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I appreciate your
So
questions.
okay. So another question: have you ever been abducted?
No. People that get abducted are abducted not by choice. There are people I've met people. If you study people like Bud Hopkins, he's a hypnotist. I don't know if he's still alive. I knew him as a friend. Read books about John Mack, his books. Read his books about the history of some of these people that were abducted. I've had people on my show that were abducted, and abductees are usually people that are forced into a situation by these lower vibrational ETs, and it's not good. On the other hand, the fact is you never want to be abducted. If you're a contactee, the opposite part of it is a contactee is somebody who's having positive interaction with space people, not being abducted at all. So there's two scenarios here. For 70 years, the government has allowed abductions, and there have been many documentations of those people being abducted. On the other hand, what you really want to focus on the contactee, the history of the contactee movement. And at 19 years old, I would say study that history. That is a much better history to look at. These people were contacted in the 50s and 60s, and many of them are not around. One of my friends who's in her late 70s, she knew all the contactees, studied Giant Rock, that history, George Van Tassel, people like George Adamski. These are people that are not alive anymore. But the thing is, there's a difference between peaceful, loving people and non-peaceful ones that want to abduct humans for their own purposes. But stay away from anything that deals with abductions. Focus your energy on elevating your consciousness at 19 years old. There's a lot you can learn. Meditation. Do you do any meditation?
I don't believe in meditation.
It's not a belief system. It's not a matter of believing it. It's so important to do the meditation. You don't, and I'll tell you why. Because you're talking to somebody from experience of many years in the subject. If you allow yourself to learn to do meditation, with like ambient meditation music, and you learn to do the breathing exercises, like you and Om, those are the most powerful words in the frequency of light. When you learn to do that, you don't switch off your brain, and now you're connecting with your inner self. As you do that and you take time to do that, your consciousness will elevate higher than it is right now at 19 years old. So it has nothing to do with belief systems. It is something very important to do before contact happens on this earth, to elevate yourself to that elevated frequency where you're operating your whole consciousness at a much higher elevation than you are now.
Okay, so how do you do this again? Like, I want to do this.
How do you do the meditation?
Yeah.
Very simple. I try to keep my answers simple. If you have YouTube, use ambient meditation music. It's also music I like to use, Cosmic Christ ambient music. These are all elevated frequencies and vibrational patterns of sound. Sound has a lot to do with how it affects your body, and that's the first thing. And when you meditate, you'll breathe in. You just breathe in. It's out of your nostril. You can do that 3 or 4 times until you're relaxed. You want to get a quiet space, turn TVs off, get away from people, be in your quiet space for about maybe a half hour to start. And you do a half-hour meditation. You're going to find yourself getting into a flow and a groove where you're going to be feeling different than you are right now. You're going to be a completely different person, and you're actually going to be more elevated and better than you are now.
So, again, meditating is just, in other words, you closing your eyes and technically...
And when you close your eyes, you have to do certain... I like to say when you're closing your eyes, meditating can be a quiet thing, but if you're starting to meditate, use the word you, like say you, or the word om. These are very ancient words. And if you use these words constantly in your meditation, as you're doing it, you take a deep breath. You, om. You see how the tone of my voice is?
Yeah.
You just change the tone of your voice. And as you're getting into that meditation, you're going to see yourself changing. You're going to be changing for the better. Your whole understanding of who you are is going to be different. And you're going to find yourself elevated in a higher vibrational pattern of light. And it's a lot to take in, but I'm really giving you good information.
Yeah, I get it. I get that frequency. We're technically a frequency.
Yeah, we are. We're operating on vibrational patterns.
Okay. Have you
All human
ever
beings are.
had a lucid dream?
I've had dreams where I've actually had situations where when I was driving my car many years ago, I had to try to stop it. I would be driving the car on the interstate highway, and I'd leave the car. I would bilocate. You know what bilocation is?
Like you'd space out?
No, they didn't space out. I would leave my car. I'd bilocate. So I'd leave my body, and I'd be taken off planet. And I say, you can't have... I'm driving. I'd be on an interstate highway in Connecticut. I'm driving. I'm bilocating. This happened less than 10 years ago. It happened for a while. It was starting to happen, and I was starting to get kind of nervous about it because I said, this is not good. I said, I'm driving my car. I'm being taken off planet while I'm driving on a highway. And then I told them, I said, you can't do that. You said, you're not in the car with like I am. I have to drive the car, else I'm going to go off the road. So I'd bilocate off the planet and go somewhere off planet. And then I couldn't find my way back. I was trying to find my way back. I said, I got to get back to Earth. I got to get back. And I would get back, and I'd get back in the car, and I was perfectly fine. My body was fine. The car was still in the lane, and the car was almost like they protected the car. Like it's almost as if the space people were driving the car, and they took me off planet, and they were driving the car. And this happened for a while. Eventually, it stopped happening. Sometimes it would happen when I'd go to sleep at night. I would bilocate in my bed off planet, and then I tried to figure out how am I going to get back to Earth to my bed. You know, this is the way I would think, right? And finally, that stopped happening. I said, you know, I made it back to Earth into my bed. You know, and this happened for a while. This happened about less than 10 years ago. But I understand now what it was all about, and I understand better who I am. It was an experience.
You think it happened for a reason?
Oh, yeah, everything does. I think it was an awakening experience. I think it happened to get me to understand that there are more things than the physical environment that I was in the car, you know? And so I learned a lot from that. So now it doesn't happen anymore. But I learned that I could bilocate. I actually have the ability to bilocate if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So I just don't bilocate. But I've been given the ability to do the bilocation, but I don't do it.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate your questions. They've been great.
All right. So what do you think that like lightning is just a type of weather?
I think lightning is weather, but lightning is more than weather. I think it's an energy, which I think I know some of the spaceships will tap into lightning for their spaceships. So lightning is also not only based on weather, but I think it also has a lot to do with galactic areas, you know, and I never really focused much on it, but I know there are historical stories about spaceships using the energy from lightning to for their ships to function, depending what kind of ship it was.
Yeah.
There have been stories about that. Interesting question.
All right.
All right, Zeke, I'm glad you came up, brother.
Yeah,
I hope you'll watch our show, and you'll learn a lot here if you stick with us.
Thank you, man.
All right, you're very welcome. Let me bring you down here, and I thank you. And welcome to the show. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. We're here till 1 a.m. And definitely, he was a great guest. We really appreciated it, having him on here. Hey, Bridget. I have my daughter on here. Bridget, hello. And she's watching the show. Hey, Bridget. And good to have her with us. Wendy, and see Millard. He was a great guest. And at 19, he asked a lot of great questions. I really appreciate that. Everyone's saying hello to my daughter, Bridget. She's on TikTok watching me right now. So hello. Now she's going to become famous. Ashley, you still lost all your screen recordings. I don't know what happened. That's pretty weird. Do you want to ask me about my encounter with a giant triangle? Yes. Theo Hunter. Of course I do. We're going to bring you up. Again, you have to be over 18, no foul language, no kids on the show, no paranormal discussion, no cursing, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking. And there's a train going by, but that's all right. So let's see. Theo Hunter. If you accept my request, there's a guest option, and we'll be happy to bring you up here. Let's see. You should see a guest option on your TikTok. I just sent you a request. And Theo says, do you want to ask me about my encounter with a giant triangle? Let's see here what's going on. I just pressed the guest button, Theo. I hope the oh, there we go. We got Theo on here. I knew this would work. Maybe I didn't press the button, strong enough here. I welcome Theo Hunter to Encounters.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be with you. Back in 1988, I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina. At the time, I lived in Lewisburg, North Carolina, which was a rural area. And I'm not prone to flights of fancy or these types of things. I'm not really a hugely paranormal type or paranormal science person. But I was coming back home. I lived out in a rural area in a house that was out in a very large field of wheat straw, and I got out of the car and it was extremely dark that night. There was no moon. There were stars visible. But it was very dark, and I felt this compulsion to look upward. I don't know where it came from. I don't know whether it was something caused by what I was looking at or just some innate, desire to look up. But going over my head, about 60 feet up, was a black silent triangle as large as a football field.
Hmm.
And it was so black that it
Oh, what happened there? Oh, I think he probably had a phone call. That happens. Theo Hunter probably had his phone. Someone's calling him here.
yeah. But
Oh,
it 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 blacked out the night. It was so large and so dark. It was darker than the sky. And that's how I
yeah.
knew it was a triangle. It drifted off to the northeast quietly about 30 feet over the tree line. And I just stood there and I watched it. And I thought to myself, how is this thing flying? Because obviously it's not using the Bernoulli principle for lift. It's
Yeah.
quiet. It's making no discernible sound at all. It was
Yeah.
tremendous. It was a tremendous triangle, and I've always wondered about it. So I reported it to the mutual. I think it's the
Uh,
UFO
you
network.
MUFON, yeah, Mutual UFO Network. Yeah.
Yes, I reported it back then. So what happened was I went and looked at the reports now in the advent of the internet, and I saw I
Hmm.
was not the only person that saw this. Another
Really?
person saw it in Raleigh, and it was also spotted along the coast of North Carolina as well.
Really?
Yes,
And now this thing was as big as a football field or two football fields?
huge. No, just one football field
One.
long.
Well, that's pretty big. So,
Pretty big.
so let me ask you, how close was the object to where you were looking at it?
It went right over my head. I was right underneath it.
That's amazing. You were
Yeah,
right
it
underneath
was.
it.
I've never seen anything quite like it. So in my whole life, I've never seen anything like it. So
Yeah. So when you saw that happening, did you have any feeling like you were being watched? What were you getting from that? Because I know when I've had sightings, I get feelings about what I see when I've had my sight close encounters. What were you feeling?
no, I can't say that I felt that. I felt a desire to look up though. And I don't know where that
Yeah.
comes from, whether that comes from the thing I'm looking at, or like I said, if it's some type of inner, spidey sense or something that something remarkable is
Yeah.
going over. But another person asked me one time, they said, do you have any feelings of lost time or, that
Yeah.
you're missing
Yeah.
time? And I really don't. I can account for all of my time. So
Okay.
I just,
So do you think do you think this was a reverse engineered craft that was worked with negative ETs? When I say that, because the government
yeah.
has reverse engineered technology, or do you think that you were looking at something that was out of this world?
I have a few different feelings about it. I mean, I guess my highest percentage of thought was it is something the government's doing. It just seems strange to me they would do this I mean, it's not a highly populated area at all, but in populated areas where the public could see it. And
Right.
my second thought would be that it's probably time travelers
Hmm.
because the you know any alien finding this planet is so infinitesimally small in the universe.
Hmm.
I just think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
But my third option would be, maybe it's aliens or something. I don't know, but it's something remarkable that
Right.
that we can't explain because it's definitely
Right.
not using aviation principles, that we're familiar with to fly. Because I just don't understand how that thing could get airborne to start with.
Yeah.
And
Well, was it what did it have any noise to it, or was it silent?
totally silent. You could
See,
still,
that's the thing. Yeah.
yeah, no,
You
no
know,
sound at all.
some people say the silent ones are not ours. Other
Mhm.
people say they see triangular craft that have a sound to them, and they say those, the ones with the sound, are ours.
I
So
see.
it's really a tricky situation because if the big one you saw was no sound,
Right.
I'm not saying it is reverse engineered. It could be ours,
Hmm.
but I'm open enough to say it could not be ours too. I
Right.
mean, let's look at the Phoenix lights. We talked about that a few weeks ago in Arizona. The governor made a joke of it, but then after he retired as governor, he went on a talk show saying that what people were seeing was real. Now, he wouldn't say it publicly when he was governor. So that, to me, when I kept seeing those lights of the Phoenix lights, I equate that as being one big spaceship.
Hmm.
You know
Why?
what I mean?
But why? But why the scale? Why the scale of something that large? I mean, that doesn't really make sense to me? Why would they build something? Why not just scale it down or something? Why build something so incredibly huge?
Yeah, I think our government has reverse engineered technology that is being built in various secret locations around the world that are as big as a football field. They've gotten over 70 years now. They have to have all the reverse engineered technology that they either shot down from extraterrestrial craft or been given, and they've actually gotten to a point now where they could build double the size spaceships. But they are limited. They can't go everywhere. I mean, they can go within our particular solar system, galaxy, what have you, maybe in our universe, maybe, but they are not advanced as the higher spiritual beings of light, like the Ashtar beings that I work with and their ships, which could, go in and out of dimensions.
Yeah, I've thought about that. That maybe it is some kind of trans-dimensional or time travel type deal.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see how aliens would find this place, and I think if aliens would not have some type of honorable kind of code or something, at least not all of them to stay out of our affairs. But if you were a time traveler, if you were something transdimensional and you could really screw up where you're from or what you're doing, then you might have more caution about it.
Right. Well, the
Than it,
thing is, as I say, there are no aliens. So and I say that every time I hear the word alien, there aren't any aliens, but there are non terrestrial type beings. So I'm trying to get people to learn the new wording here, which is non terrestrial, extraterrestrial, multidimensional beings, light beings, and also human beings that are from other planets. But there are no aliens. It's an Earth based terminology from Hollywood and documentaries that have been produced by TV station networks.
yeah, well, like I
But
said, I'm not really so much into this stuff. It sounds like
yeah.
you are, but
Oh, yeah, I am.
that's why you can take my encounter with more than a grain of salt because I don't know anything about this stuff. And you
Well, I'm
know,
glad you're here. Even though you don't know anything about it,
yeah,
if you watch my show and continually watch my show, you're going to be so much more educated than you ever thought you'd ever be, and you're going to be actually addicted to this show because really, on a on a certain level, he has probably a phone call. He must be a popular person. He must be getting a lot of phone calls from your celebrity, from being a celebrity or something.
there you go. That's right.
But if you watch the show long enough, I guarantee you're going to be hooked, and you're going to really be, because our show doesn't deal with the paranormal. We deal with the space, the cosmic, the galactic. That's what we get into, and you're going to learn a lot of stuff here. I guarantee you, brother. It's
Well,
going to be, you're going to have a lot of fun
well,
watching the show.
I appreciate your insights into it and your opinions about it. If
Oh,
you want
thank
to,
you.
yeah, if you want to read about it, you can go to the MUFON reports. It will be 1988, Lewisburg, North Carolina, a triangular shape. I think is how they have it listed. So if you'd like to read
Oh,
about it,
good. Yeah,
yeah,
I'll take a look at that. And
okay,
it's
well,
interesting that you had multiple witnesses other than yourself
yeah,
that
there were other
reported
people.
it.
Of course,
So,
before the internet, we weren't as connected, of course, as we are now. So we didn't know, that other people were seeing these things too. So everyone
yeah.
was in their own little bubble. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So, well,
No, it
thank you,
was.
and have a great
All right.
night. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Theo. Thank you, man, for coming up here. I appreciate
Thanks,
your
sir. Thank you.
first time coming up here.
All right.
And just to let people know, I do separate the paranormal from galactic and intergalactic and space. Paranormal, I don't get into at all because that is a whole different realm, like Ghostbusters, what's it called? Ghost Hunters or whatever it is, all those TV shows. That's paranormal. What we talk about here has nothing to do with paranormal. It has to do with extraterrestrial, non-terrestrial light beings, angelic beings, mer people, Bigfoot. It's all part of that whole level. So I kind of stay. I mean, I just completely stay away from that kind of stuff. ET friends with benefits, I'm going to bring you up as our next guest. Fonsbo, I think it is. Fonsbo, if you will press the guest icon, it's not letting me bring you up as a guest, but I think if you press the guest icon, I can bring you up again. You have to be over 18, no foul language, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no drugs, no kids on the program. And again, I think I covered most of that. Okay, I'm sadly 40. You're okay then. So if you want to come up, ET friends, press the guest icon because it's not letting me bring you up as a guest. I don't know why. So it's really important for people to know that, again, just for educational purposes, there are no aliens out there. It's going to be tough to change the dynamics of the wording, but on here you'll hear me say space people, spiritual beings of light. I use words that, for example, if a space person comes off a spaceship and you say, hello, alien, they would not want to be called an alien. It's like, would you call me an alien? Would I call you an alien? No. We call ourselves human beings. We don't say, oh, hey, there's a bunch of aliens walking down a street down in New Hampshire. We say, oh, look at those human beings walking down that are wearing light, bright clothing. We would never call another human being an alien. So with space people, they don't want to be called aliens. They want to be respected and called star people or star beings. But there are no aliens. This is just to help people trying to get out of the thought of the whole word alien. It doesn't exist. They don't exist. It's a media thing that Hollywood created. You watch documentaries on YouTube or not YouTube, the History Channel, the Discovery. The moderators of those documentaries use the word alien, but aliens don't even exist. Even Ancient Aliens, it's a mistake that Ancient Aliens, the popular TV show, uses the word aliens. Why can't they just say ancient ETs or something? It probably wouldn't be as catchy as aliens, but there are no aliens. They just don't exist. If you believe they exist, you're believing in a word. If you believe that beings from other worlds exist, that would be correct, but aliens don't exist at all. I will bust that matrix every time I'm on here until some people get it. You understand, you live on a planet where the media has projected that word so long that people believe it. So they don't exist. I love to say that 10,000 times. But I won't. That would be too many times. So Al Cassant. Now we're gonna bring you up here, Al, if you want to come up. No, I don't think he has enough followers, but I'll answer your question. The star people connect with the people they're connected to. So, for example, star people would connect with their star family on Earth. So the contactees on the planet Earth that are having contact with space people, they are connecting with them because they have a relationship. They might come from that planetary system. They might come from another solar system, another galaxy. It's a beautiful thing. So when you're contacted by a person from another planet, that's because you have a relationship and they want you to remember who you are. And many contactees have those beautiful relationships. Andy, thank you. Good question. Excellent question. Thank you for the gift. So you're watching Encounters. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. It's just great to have everybody here. All the new people, all the people that are regular watchers of the show. Take a seat somewhere. We have plenty of studio space, a couch, a futon, a meditation pillow. Yeah, I have S Vegas 67. Yes, I came from Mars before coming here in the 60s. I came from off planet from Mars, which is a planet of 10 to 15 million inhabitants. That's correct. John says, I thought words were created by people moving their tongues and making sounds to communicate. Okay, so it said I can't go live until 10:40 on August 14th, which is very odd. Okay, maybe TikTok has you blocked from doing any lives. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Hey, Judy Jude. Brandon Mace says, why I see you on your UFO. Brandon Mace says, why I see you on your UFO? Can you explain? Hey, Judy Jude, good to see you. Karen Susie Q, welcome back. Ross W4456, welcome to Encounters. So I'm looking at all the questions. If your question is filtered, I won't see it. Mildred says, is the Mars population all in one place or in different locations on the planet? The Mars population is all over the planet within Mars. So it's not in any one location. Just like on Earth, you have people all over the planet. The same thing would be with Mars. Good evening. And also, there is, I don't have my other tablet here, but like I said earlier, NASA finally admits that there's oceans on Mars inside the planet. All right, this is coming from NASA, which is, something they probably knew about for a number of years. They finally decided, okay, we're going to just have a little news brief here with ABC News and everybody, and have them know that there's an ocean inside Mars. When I say inside the planet, we're talking below the surface of Mars. It was just publicly put on the media this morning. Okay? Yeah, deep underground. So the truth is, I've been talking about the waterways of Mars for years. And now in 2024, this morning, NASA's going to say, deep, deep down in Mars, there's an ocean. Yeah, they're going to now tell you the truth. Now, if there's an ocean deep, deep down in Mars where there wasn't being any life in water, and now there's an ocean, what else is on Mars that they're not telling you about? You see? Let's see. Kay Trobeson says, my mom saw a ship in 1950 in the UK. She's now 79. Let's see. Kay Trobenson. We're going to bring you on. I think you're overseas in either England or somewhere. Welcome to the show. I'd like to hear your story. And she's now 75, your mom.
Yeah.
And what's your first name?
Kate.
Hey, Kate, nice to meet you. You're in the UK?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I kind of figured that. Welcome to the show. So tell us about what you know, what you say she saw a UFO in the 1950s. Tell us the story on that.
Yeah, she was walking home from school in Leeds in Yorkshire, and she was 9-10 years old, and she saw a disc. It was a very grey, foggy winter's day, and she looked up. Something said to her, just look up, and she did, and there was a grey sort of disc hovering silently, no lights on it or anything. And it was sort of 4:00 in the afternoon, getting dark. And she said she stopped and was just staring at it. And there was other people around, and she pointed to it, and they looked at it too.
Wow. And how close was the disc to where she was?
It was right above her head. Yeah. It was quite low because it's very dark grey skies in the winter in the UK and heavy cloud, and it was just hovering just under the cloud.
Wow. And how long did the sighting last, did she tell you?
It didn't go away. She walked off in the end.
Oh, the craft stayed there, the disc, and
Yeah.
she said, okay, I've seen enough, I'm going home.
Yeah.
If it were me, I'd be the first one to start trying to communicate.
Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting. Have you yourself had any experiences with UFOs?
No,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. No, sadly.
Sadly. Well, I'll tell you what, if you download the C5 app, Dr. Greer's app, which is like $10 US, but if you download it, I don't know if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, but if you have an iPhone, you can download it on an Apple, Android, on Google Play. Download it, follow the protocol, and find a place where it's pretty quiet and not light polluted, and go with maybe a friend that you feel would be open to it, and I guarantee you'll have a sighting.
Really?
Yeah, you will. If you do that, download the app, study the protocol. They'll tell you everything you need to do to get started. And I guarantee you, when that happens, I want you to let me know about it. You'll actually have a very peaceful encounter with a non-terrestrial spaceship.
That would be good. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. All right, Kate. Hey, Kate, thanks for coming up here and sharing that story about her. That's great. That's a good
Thank
story.
you. Yeah, it just shows
And
you they've been around for such a long time.
Oh, they've been around for billions of years.
Yeah.
In our current history, our grandmothers and grandfathers who've had these sightings that are not around anymore, some of them still are, they saw these things, you know. They've been around forever. Absolutely true.
Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Everyone say
Bye.
thank you to Kate. I'm going to bring Kate down. I appreciate her story. And this is Encounters a Late Night. It's called the CE5 app, people. You can download it on your Android phone on Google Play. It's CE5. If you have an Apple phone, if you have a Apple phone, you can download it on the Apple device. It's CE5. Everyone should download it. If you've never done any of this stuff, jump into it, learn about it, and you'll have some interesting visual contacts of non-terrestrial spaceships. Yeah, create awareness. Yeah, absolutely correct. And we're having a great show tonight. I have some great guests. If you wish to be a guest and share your story that is related to encounters, visitations by space people, I haven't anybody on here tonight yet who's been visited physically. If anybody out of the 244 are being visited right now by peaceful visitation, I would like to hear your story. Is there anybody out there that has a story regarding that? Please let me know, and we'll bring you up here. You have to have over 50 plus followers to go live, and we'd like to bring you up here and hear your stories from whatever country you're in. Africa. Suk Williams. Okay, Suk Williams. We're going to bring Suk Williams up. Suk is our next guest. And Suk, please tell us when you come on where you're from, whether you're in the U.S. or what state you're in. We'd love to have you on here. Suk Williams, everybody.
All right.
Hey, Suk Williams. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, man? I had a couple of. I got a clip or two. One of my clips been erased, but I still got one. But I don't be trying to put them online. But like I seen a couple of things like in the air, but it'd be like orbs. It'd be like little balls, and I seen some of them separate.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like I just seen like it was like one ball that turned into two, and I knew it wasn't planes. I just knew it wasn't planes. Like. Yeah, and then my girl, she right here in the bed. I ain't got my camera on because we in the bed. She was right here with me. One of my clips separated. Go ahead, you go ahead. Talk.
Did you see these in the sky during the day or night?
In the day.
How big were the orbs? How big were the orbs that you were seeing?
They was like little balls. It's like little white balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a nice little size. Some of them separated from each other. Like I don't know. Then some of them disappeared out of nowhere, and I'm like, planes don't do that.
No. So how long were you and your lady mate? How long did you see these?
Man, it was a good little minute. It was a good little minute. Then it was daytime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on my way to work, and I started recording because I knew ain't nobody would have believed me. But the clip that I had, I might still got it on my phone, but I gotta find it. And I still got one of them. You know what I'm saying? But the one that I got, the other one I seen one by a courthouse, but my sound was, I don't know what happened to my sound on it. But I still got some footage of some orbs.
Yeah, you got to find it. And you should find it and file it so you don't lose those documentations. Those are important, you know?
Yeah. And matter of fact, I'm following you now, but I was just listening to your show, and then we're gonna show you some. I'm gonna see if I can find the one I got with the orbs by the courthouse, and you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna at least send that to you so you can have some content. I ain't playing with it, but hey, you could send it, you could upload it.
Yeah, I analyze. I get UFO video footage from all over the place, and I have a background in this subject in the media for a lot of years, and I'm also a contactee since I was a kid. I've seen hundreds of spaceships, so I will definitely be happy once you send it to me or message it to me. I'll analyze the photo, which I will obviously take a look at.
Yeah, and I tell you, I'm in Camden, South Carolina. I can show you. I can tell you it's by the courthouse in Camden, South Carolina. And you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You can see the courthouse. So I mean, I can't stage it. I ain't that good.
Right. Right.
I ain't
No.
that.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate real documentation, which is what you've done. You documented it by taking pictures. That is documentation, and I'll take a look at it. If you send it to me, I'll definitely look at it, for sure.
Yeah, I'm about to call it tonight. I'm gonna keep on listening. This is my first time going live, but I appreciate you accepting me.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you watching the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. When disclosure happens, it's going to happen on this show, so you're at the right place at the right time.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. We'll take it down here, and let's see. Let's see who the next person is. UFO Took Me. I like that name. Let's take a look at UFO Took Me, your next guest on Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show, and we are interviewing a lot of people tonight on the program. Hey, UFO Took Me, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, this is ET Friends with Benefits.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Whereabouts are you located?
Pittsburgh.
Okay, welcome to the show. And tell us a little about your background and what your experiences have been.
All right, so I've been in I've researched UFOs for over 20 years. My first encounter was when I was 8. Had a couple with my dad, and then I started to get into it like hardcore when I was like 18. But then I went to Iraq, so I had to put it on pause.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty well. But over there, I was on a turret the whole time, and at nighttime, I mean, you have a pair of night vision goggles on. You can look at the sky. You can't even see black. It's just stars littering the sky everywhere.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
And
sand looks like snow. It's crazy. But
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll fast forward. I've had like I got 4 phones full of photos.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. But my main account, like I said, is my Fosbo one on there. I think a lot of these people follow me. Go Steelers, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so I did a real main one in Oklahoma. Now, this one here, that was in 2019 in November.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty wild stuff. Anyways, I think a lot of you guys also saw my owl video. I had an owl at my window. It knocked on my window like a human did. It was pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I got a picture of it and everything. I had several photos of it. It just sitting in midair with his wings open and not moving.
Wow.
Yeah,
what were you getting from that? That's pretty interesting. What was the symbolism of that from the owl to you? What do you think it was?
It's just, you know what? I kind of bring it on myself. I take a laser and a flashlight outside almost every night. In 2019 to 2021, I did a research. Like I went outside consecutively, or it was 3 years, I'm sorry. And out of those days, I think there was only 32 days where I didn't see any lights in the sky. Anything that blinked back at me. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wow.
But I and obviously I'm safe with it and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll go back to the Oklahoma. I'll do both if you want, if that's all right with you.
Let's see, what happened in Oklahoma? What year was that?
2019. It was in November. This is crazy stuff here. So you were just saying like Mars has, an ocean or whatever, rivers.
Oh yeah, it has more than the ocean. It has a lot of stuff there,
yeah. So, anyways, these beings, they came down. They did this really smart, actually. Where I was in Oklahoma, it's the Bible Belt. The neighbors wanted nothing to do with me. They hated me. I literally was shoot off a doorstep with a shotgun about 2 miles away from one of the witnesses' houses. He wanted nothing to do with me. So these entities picked a smart spot to do this, because if they were, no one's gonna go ratting them out to law enforcement or anything like that. It's crazy. Anyways, so I was there for 4 days. And the first night I didn't really see much. I did see these red lights land in a field Other than that, the dog was barking a lot. I didn't pay much attention to that, which is I kind of kicked myself for, because the next night his dog was going bonkers.
Yeah.
I saw a blue light disappear in the yard. It was like
Wow. That's
it looked like a blue marble. It was moving like water. It was really wild.
yeah.
I was like, "What the heck is that?" The witness runs in and goes, "Hey, there was a red light that just landed in the field across the street." I said, "What?" I turned around with a mag light, and for the first time in my life, like there they were. There was all of them standing. They all had these brown outfits on. They all look like the same.
Let me slow you down. So you have a lot going on here. So as you turn around, and I have to, because I've been a talk show host for years. So I hear each word you're saying, and I'll stop you like that because I want to get we have a big audience here, and I want them to understand things. So they're wearing these spacesuits or outfits. You see them. What do they look like? Are they human beings like we are?
No, not at all. They had all right. The third night they had our clothing on. Just the teachers did. The main, I guess you would call them tour guides. You're going to understand. Yeah. I'll explain. It's pretty well. But yeah, there was at least 8 or 9 of them in a row. These brown outfits they had on, they all had the same thing on, and they all had green goggles on. I have a picture of this. You can see the mag light on them. The mag light's, a big giant square, and then you can see the goggles on them. You can see the brown outfits.
Now the people wearing the brown outfits with the goggles, are these the extraterrestrials?
Yeah, this is a recon team. They put out
a recon team.
Yeah, for the next night, which is like the main night of all of this.
Okay, yeah. So now I'm confused. The recon team is us going after the extraterrestrials?
No. It was their recon team making sure that what they're doing for the next night was not going to have a problem.
And what was the purpose of what they were doing when they landed their ship? What was their purpose? Can you tell us?
Yeah, it was. They checked out the area where we were at. They all disappeared. Probably about 5 minutes after I hit them with a flashlight. You couldn't see them, but you could hear stuff get knocked over. You could hear stuff on the roof. You could hear the dog chasing stuff. As a matter of fact,
wow.
The dog ran over to them, and I called it back because I didn't know what they were capable of. You know what I mean? I had no idea because it was the first time I ever ran into this.
Right.
And, yeah. Thank God the dog listened to me. So.
These beings, I have so many questions about them. How tall were they?
See, this is the thing. This is pretty wild. These brown outfits. The next night, several beings had these brown outfits on. They all were the same height, and it's pretty wild because the outfits make them all the same height. It's for photos. It's for in case they get a photo taken of them. It'll cloak them like a. Once I get onto the third night, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I was just as surprised as you're sounding. I was like, why do they all have these brown outfits on and green goggles? I was like, why would they send so many? Right. And they were standing right in front of a barbed wire fence, and they were all moving back and forth like they were antsy to get over the barbed wire fence. And I had the light on them, and they didn't care. They didn't care at all. And this is the thing too. That blue light I saw in the yard. One of them was holding, it looked like a compact, and that blue light was sitting right on top of it, and he closed it, and it went right into his hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, that disappeared, and then they all disappeared, like right in front of us, just like that.
So let me ask you a question. If it were me, I would have probably done something different, maybe not. Did you have any feelings like maybe I should walk up to them and communicate with them?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. I was really nervous, obviously, but there was 4 other witnesses to this, and I have photos of this too. So I know people are going to be like, "Oh, it's just blah blah blah," but it's all real. I mean, I have documentation of it.
Do you have documentation photos of these beings wearing the suits?
Yep.
Could you send me some photos to look at?
Yeah.
I'd like to see them. I'll analyze them.
Yeah.
I'm definitely no one's going to think you're crazy. Let me tell you something.
It's all right. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. I don't care.
No, they're not. They're not. 30 years ago, we were in a situation of public opinion that would have probably thought that. You have to understand, the Pentagon made it public. Some congressman, the one that died a couple years ago, talked about how they were monitoring these UFOs for the last few years. The fact is, people are much more open to it now. And on my show, no one here is going to think you're crazy. So I have to get people to stop thinking that way. No one thinks you're crazy in 2024. Matter of fact, the people that are crazy are the majority of people that don't understand what's going on. And those like yourself that are documenting all this stuff, to your credit, you're going to be one of those people that they'll look to when things happen and say, oh, can you show me some of your pictures? So, you know, you're on one of the top UFO TV shows on social media, and I'm on radio for 21 years. So you're not crazy. I just want you to stop thinking that way. That's all.
Okay. Well, all these people are saying they want to see photos. Well, my main, like I said, if you go to ET Friends with Benefits, that's my main stuff.
His main page.
You can, you'll check. You can see the owl on there. Everything that's got 500,000 views. So you can all check it out. Yeah, but
his main page is where he couldn't get on with his main account. You would have seen stuff. He's using his alternate account, so you have to go to his main page, folks. But go ahead.
All right, so so I didn't see much after that. The dog was chasing stuff back and forth. We kept hearing metal banging off. The red light, I never saw it take back off. It, I don't know if it cloaked or whatever. Anyways, the next night, I'm sitting there at the dinner table, and I saw some weird things during the day. I just didn't really put two and two together. So, anyways, I'm sitting at the dinner table, and he comes in. He goes, "There's," he's like, "There's someone in the," he's like, "There's someone in the driveway, and they're in your car." I'm like, "What?" And I had a rental car. I was like, serious? "What?" Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?" I look out the window. My rental car, the doors are wide open, and the lights are on, and I had it locked. I'm like, what the heck?
Who's in the car?
I walk out there. I'm like, what is this? And this is crazy.
No, it's not crazy. It just, forget that word. Just go ahead and continue with the story.
Okay, so I got, like I said, I got pictures of this anyways. So there was these beings wearing human outfits. I'm like, what the heck? What is this? And clearly they weren't humans. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And the witness was mad. I was like, why are you mad? I was like, dude, we're seeing something like this is insane. Like, can you believe what we're seeing? He's like, yeah, but I said, you don't have a car out there. I do. I was like, who cares?
So the beings that were there, did you see them physically in the car, or were they out of the car at that point?
Yeah, they were sitting in my car.
Okay, so I keep getting the feeling, when you say they're not human, I get the feeling they are human. I mean, what did they look like?
That's the thing, is I always tell people, is like, I compare us to, like, you get blacks, Hispanics, English people, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, so, like, to them, well, this is what I mean. Like, I call them tour, because this is clearly what it was. It was a tour. They were literally sitting in our vehicles. Right. They were sitting in their truck. They had a work truck. They were sitting inside of it. They had their kids with them. It was crazy.
Okay, so see, this is the thing. They have to be human if they have kids with them. They were from another world, so they were curious about everything about your life. So let's at least say who they are. What they looked like, when they were wearing human clothing, they obviously were human, correct? Well, like, what did they look like?
If I
would look, I see your face.
This is the thing, though. There's a ton of them. There's a ton. They look totally different. Like, the one I had, the one image that sticks out the most in my head was the main lady. She was overseeing everything. Right. She looked like she was a heavier set woman. She had a red wig on. She had a black dress on, and her skin had a light yellow glow to it. And she had black polka dots, and she had sunglasses on.
So she was human, but she was definitely a non-terrestrial being, which would look different than us. So a person that's human from another planet could have a glowing skin. They could be different than us, and that's not a problem for me. If it were me, I'd be amazed, and I would have walked up and say, I'm glad to meet you. I know you came from off your ship. You're like curious about everything about our life. Tell me something about your life. See,
I
that's
did.
the first thing. Well, you did. So tell us
Yeah,
about
oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, she said I could ask her 3 questions. So she said the third one, she goes, and you already know the answer to, because I was going to ask if I could go back with them. And she goes, you have 3 kids. I was like, yeah, I do. And she had a translator with her. This is crazy. She had a translator translating what I was saying to her. And she said, no, you can't. I can't take you. We can't take you back with us. I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. Because clearly they were from a different planet. I was like, this is insane.
Right.
Like they have different,
Right.
like the one guy, like no joke. The one guy, okay, so the other teacher that was with her, he had a Letterman's jacket on. He had acid wash jeans on with white sneakers, and he had stocks coming off of his head. And he had a face like ours, but he had 2 stocks coming off the top of his head. And every time we went outside, after I talked to her the first hour. Now I saw this for 6 hours. 6 hours straight.
Wow.
Yep, 6 hours straight. Like, this is amazing. This is why it's totally different from a lot of other people. I have never ever heard this type of encounter, unless people are just scared to say it.
So you were having a contact in the same night for a total of 6 hours with these space people. 6 hours.
Yeah, and there was a total of 7 witnesses to this. Yeah.
So how many of the space people were there when they were in the driveway where your car was? How many people were there?
Man, there was probably like 25, 30.
25, 30 space people in your driveway?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
And I believe
and so
you.
this is the crazy part. So the brown outfits. Like, this is the image I have stuck in my head. This girl, she must have been 18, 19 years old. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Maybe 17, 16. She had fur all over her. She had leopard print fur and white cheeks. I was like, what? And she was smiling with these bright white teeth at me. And she had a brown outfit on.
You know what the leopard? You know what the leopard beings are? When you say leopard, did you have a cat face?
Yeah, they actually followed me back here. I've gotten other pictures of them. Yeah, she was a cat. Absolutely.
So let me explain. They're human, men and women, but the cat, they're Illyrians. They come from the Illyrian star system. That one.
They were dimensional. Yeah.
Illyrian. You know what Illyrian is?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, those were Illyrians. They're very beautiful beings or people.
Yeah, she was really pretty. She had a big smile on her face the whole time. Like I said, I stopped getting nervous around hour 3. You know, I went out there. I was like, we gotta go outside and talk to these beings. So as soon as we all went out, they all took a knee and just stood there. I was like, oh, I guess they don't want to talk. Yeah. She let us for the first hour. We were allowed to. I was the only one that went out there and talked to them. Everyone was scared to go outside. I was like, you know what? This is a one-time chance. Like, I'm taking it. You know. And I walked out there and I saw there were 30 of them. I was like, oh my God, look at all these people. And there was at least 20 of them wearing these brown outfits. And I'm like, oh, there's those brown outfits again. And they all had fake corn stalks coming off their sleeves. I'm like, what's the purpose of that? So I took a photo, and sure enough, like, I have proof of this too. I have a daytime photo of this tree. There's nothing there. At night, I have this photo, and there's nothing but tall mounds of grass around it. So these brown outfits were for our phones. So if I took a photo of them, it wouldn't show up in the photo. They would just look like tall mounds of grass, which it's poorly done, but it served its purpose. It did.
Right.
So what I did in the meantime is I put my phone up in the window and hit record. Yeah. And they had this object over it, which made it record into the house.
Wait a minute. I can tell you're a little bit nervous telling the story. Don't be. It's all good, and you have a fascinating. You are a real contactee, man. You are having. If people aren't watching this show right now, you're missing some really important things here. So you actually, for 6 hours, in that 6 hours, they come to your house. Obviously, they want to interact with you, and you're the only one that is finally taking the step to interact with them.
Well, this is the crazy part too. Is like I think this all was like hit a pinnacle because at my house in Pittsburgh, I was getting all this crazy stuff happening right before I left. Red lights were coming in. Like my wife at the time, she left me over this stuff, which is pretty crazy. You know, it's sad. It's pretty wild. Anyways, we had a orb. She said to me, Ryan, it looks like this orb's waiting for you to come outside. It's like it's hiding behind a cloud. I was like, what? I walk outside. As soon as I walk outside, it made a beeline right for me. Straight to it. Probably about 10 feet away from us. We were stunned. I was like, oh my God, look at it. Just sitting there. And it took off right into the sky.
Wow.
And but you know, all that weird stuff happened. I just feel like they knew I was coming down here, but what are the odds of me getting down here and getting this encounter like this?
Right.
Like it's a once.
Let me explain something, because I'm very connected. I'm off planet. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are the galactic space people. My family's on a ship right now, so I'm a human being, but I also come from off planet, and I came here to Earth in the early '60s, so to speak. But so reading your story, I think that you have a connection to these people. Let me explain something. I think the fact that they have been with you and even were with you in that state that you were in for 6 hours straight, there's a reason they were there for 6 hours straight. They were trying to make contact with you. They were waiting for you to finally take the step that you did. When the woman said you can ask 3 questions, one of the questions you should have asked is, am I connected to your planetary system? Am I part of your star family? Do you have any more contact with them?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. When's the last time they came back? When's the last time they came back?
Last year, they did a tour in this field. I took my kids over there. My kids are 15 and 17 and 7. I took them all over. They all saw it, and they were blown away. It was pretty wild.
Here's what I want you to do, because I want you, first of all, to take a deep breath. I'm going to calm you down. You're definitely hyper. No, it's okay. I'm going to help you out here, man, because I definitely think this is very, very important, okay? You're definitely contacting, number one, you're having positive contact, and you're having ongoing contact. So I'm going to help you out here. Okay, so let me just help you out here. Close your eyes, please. All right, I'm going to do something for you. I want you to turn your mind off for a minute, just for more than a minute. Turn your consciousness mind off for a minute. Okay? I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out of your nostrils a couple of times until you're completely relaxed. Let go, let go, let go. Just relax. I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to release through your nostrils. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So people watching this show, I'm going to help them here. I'm activated to help people, and there's certain things that I'm going to help him here in another level of ways he can communicate with these beings that are from another world.
Okay, so I feel even better. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, so everyone's asking to post photos. Like I said, if you go to ET Friends with Benefits or Fosbo, you'll find photos. Matter of fact, I just bit the bullet and posted photos I've never posted before yesterday. Yeah. There's a ton of them. Like I literally, they have my phone on a UFO. Yeah. They have my phone. Like he said I could take 7 photos. I took 7 photos. My phone died. They took it from me, and they turned it on the ship, and they took a photo of themselves.
So now here's what I want to do. I want to get you back to focus.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, I got you.
So focus on me, and we'll get to the questions after this. So I want you to take a deep breath in, breathe out from your nostrils. Do that about 3 or 4 times, maybe 5, until you're totally relaxed. And when you're relaxed, let me know. And I'm going to do something here for you.
Okay.
And I'm glad you're excited, because I would be too. Just to let people know. And he is doing good. But,
Yeah, you know
but
what? Well, I'm just gonna be. I'll just tell you one thing that happened from this. Like, obviously, I said my wife left me, but I don't know if you know Lon Strickler. He actually parted ways with me because of this encounter, which is crazy because I gave him the best photo of the Glimmer Man he's ever had.
you really?
Yeah, I got a
Really?
photo of him that second day. He was sitting in a tree right in front of me. I have a GIF of it on my phone still. Yeah, it's sitting
Wow.
right in front of me. Yep.
I'm definitely going to be looking at those photos. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to elevate this thing. So I'm going to get you focused. And what we're going to do is I want you to now just be still for a moment. I'm going to send some light energy to help you in terms of you're already doing the contact. That's without a question. You are one of the best contactees. I've had a lot of contactees on the show. You are definitely, brother, one of the best contactees I've interviewed in a real long time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that because
I know.
this is a
I really
hard one.
appreciate you.
This is a hard one to talk about because everyone's, everyone's always like, "Oh, that didn't happen," blah blah blah. And,
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't care. But
don't worry about those
I'm glad
people.
it happened.
Just separate yourself from the people that would say no, that didn't happen. You don't have to be around those people anymore. On this show, you've got a lot of friends here. People are loving it. I'm gonna show you something here. So I want you to close your eyes. Okay. I'm gonna do some energy work here. You're definitely beautiful, and I want you to tell me in a minute when you keep your eyes closed. We're gonna put a beam of energy coming through your forehead in just a moment. I work with the Ashtar. I am with the Ashtar Command. So I'm not just merely human. I'm also a cosmic being of light. So let me just do this here. And it is a beautiful story. Just take a deep breath, relax. It's all good, brother. It's all good. In a moment, you should feel some energy. When you're relaxed, let me know. Take your time.
All right.
Relax.
I feel better. Yeah.
Okay. Relax. When you feel the energy, it'll be like a warm energy. Let me know.
Yeah, I'm hot.
Okay, you're feeling it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay, relax. What I'm doing is we're going to activate another level of your consciousness. What I want to ask you to do, it's been activated. What I want you to do is ask the space people to come back.
Oh
Have them come back. Ask them to come back. They will come back. You're going to talk to them telepathically, not verbally. You're going to verbalize it within your consciousness. I want you to ask them to come back. When they come back, I want you to talk to them and ask the key questions. I know I'm connected to you as a star family member. Can you tell me what my connection is? That's the first question. Secondly, when you do that, and they're waiting for you to do this, you will ask them if you can come with them on their ship and travel to see where you're from before coming to Earth, and see if they're willing to do that. Those are the two key questions. But
I already did. They did do that already. They did that the next year.
They took you off planet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about that. I didn't know this.
It was about my choice. It was by my own choice. Yeah. He gave me the option to. So this is a 3-night event that happened the year after that. It was in the same month. Hold on, I'm just gonna sit down so I feel 10 times better. Okay.
Yeah, sit down, relax.
Yeah, so this is happened in November again. So I was in the kitchen of my apartment. It was about 7:30 because I remember I've never seen the sun set like this before since. It always it was just really bright and vivid. It was beautiful, actually. I have a picture of this. It's pretty nuts. You can actually see the being in front of me. You can see the corner of the UFO in the background. When I took the photos, I thought they were all black. And then I looked closer. I was like, oh my God, there's somebody in front of me. But anyway, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So all right. So anyways, I'm in the kitchen. A light hits me in the face. I'm like, and this is after a year of collecting awesome data. Like, I put up a camera. I got so much crazy stuff. It's insane. like I said, my ex-wife, she left me over this because she was like, "What the hell did you bring back with you?" I was like, "This is awesome. I love it." I was like, I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky, I do. And I know I know there's, not all beings have our best, our best interest in mind, but these guys do.
But when you were taken, and also just to let people know, he has photos, not on this account. What is the account they need to go to watch the photos?
Yeah, it's ET Friends with Benefits. I just posted. I think it's like the fourth.
ET Friends with Benefits. It's a pinned video. ET Friends with Benefits is where you can see his stuff. He's on a different account here, but his other account, ET Friends with Benefits, would be where you want to go to see that. So when you were taken on the ship, you just mentioned they did take you on the ship. How did that happen? Can you tell us what the inside of the ship looked like? What was it like when you got in the ship? Was it a big ship? What was the inside like when you were taken on the ship?
Yeah, so I was hit in the face with that light. And then the next thing I remember, I'm trying to run down the steps, but you can't run down steps. You can go down steps fast, but you can't run down them. And in my mind, still, this is actually something I just got cleared up 2 days ago. I kept saying, why do I keep thinking I ran down steps? But I didn't run down them. But anyways, I got down to the bottom of the steps. I ran across the street into the woods, and there's tons of trees there. But their ship I've heard of this since, but the ship displaced the trees. Like the ship's, it was just sitting there. The ship was round. It had it was probably it had a 2 foot high lift. I have photos. I'm walking right up to it. You can see I'm taking shots through metal. The metal is starting to be see through.
Wow.
And so real quick, I want to because this is really cool. Back in Oklahoma, during about the 4th hour of these beings out there, they put up this black screen over the window. I was like, "What's going on here?" And it fell down because I opened up the window, and all of a sudden I was blown away by what I saw. And what I saw was 3 portals. I have a picture of the portal. It's purple.
Okay.
So anyone that's on my page, you'll see it. You'll see a portal. It's purple, and you'll see 3 steps leading right up to it.
Wow. This is on your other account, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and mention that again so everyone's really interested in what you're saying. They really are.
Good.
What is that account again? Friends?
ET Friends with Benefits.
ET Friends with Benefits. I'll have to I'll write that down. ET Friends with Benefits. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue on. Whoops.
Okay, so what I saw was 3 portals. I was like, "Oh my god! Look at this!" And I was blown away. The one had a dad and his son. He was sitting on what I would call a couch, and in the background, I was trying to I'm like, "What is that stuff in the background?" I was like, I don't know what it is because he's in a house. He's in what I think is a house,
right? And
he's sitting there watching it from his couch. I was like, "What? I can't believe this is happening."
Right.
The second one is a balcony of a college or something like that. It had a ton of entities on it watching. And then the third one was a coliseum of little kids. Wow. And they were all watching too. Like I told you, It was crazy. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, "Oh my God, look at this." And even finally, these guys were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." I'm like, "Yeah." And these are some hardcore people in Oklahoma. I don't know if people know, but the backwoods people of Oklahoma, they don't mess around. They're scary people. And I'm a big dude. I'm a Marine. I did a lot of stuff in Fallujah. I'm not a baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. And these guys, I was like, yeah. So it's pretty wild stuff. I saw all those 3 portals, and I was blown away. So anyways, fast forward a year later, these entities I saw, they looked like grays, but they weren't. I have pictures on there. I have 3 pictures. The one I guess you would call it gray. He's the one who took a photo of he had my phone. He took a photo of it. There was an entity sitting in a chair when I got on board. You'll see a photo. It shows an entity. He's elongated because that's when my phone died, and so like his body is stretched out. That's when they killed my phone. And the UFO was 3 floors. And
Wow,
once he
3
told
floors.
me that,
Or 3 levels.
yeah, 3 levels, and everything was molded. Everything was molded. There was no rivets. I was looking. There was no rivets. They let me look. They let me touch. They didn't let me go near the engine. The engine was sitting right in the middle. It was this big long thing. Obviously didn't run. There was no sound coming from it.
Right.
So once he told me it was 3 levels, this is insane. I went down to the 3rd level. I was like down there. I was like, what the hell? And I kept going back and forth because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And finally,
was each level different with what they had on each level?
Yeah, there was people doing work on one level, and there was this blue. He was a good-looking dude. He was tall. He had long blonde hair, blue skin, and he put his arm on me. He said, and he telepathically me. He said, "Calm down." He said, "I'm going to calm you down, and I'm going to take you back up top."
Right. Well,
I kept seeing him through the levels as I kept going. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know I was moving up and down. It just looked like I was stuck between the levels of the. You know what I mean? It looked like I was stuck between the levels.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So they also. While I was on there, we took off. I didn't even know we took off. I didn't feel anything. Yeah.
When you're on the ship, you wouldn't have felt anything. I know my friend in Vermont. She's been on the Astro ships over 50 times, and they take her through a rift in the house. They open the wall up, and she's on the ship in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. But these guys, they all had dark blue jumpsuits on. These guys did dark blue jumpsuits, fitted. There was these beings. They had like these. This is what doesn't make sense to me, but I guess it's just like so free and so liberating with them. Like this one being, it looked like this is like no joke. He would look like he was emaciated. Like he had. I could see his chest bones. But he had a garb on wrapped around his private areas, and he was holding this white box that had a gold-plated face on it, and he had amber-colored eyes. And he didn't have any. Everyone else had dark blue jumpsuits on, except for these couple of. I don't know. I wouldn't call them grays because they weren't gray.
Well, they maybe were they possibly what's the word I'm thinking of?
They were just like a mix.
They're blue.
They look like a mix. No. They had a yellow tint. These guys had a yellow tint to them.
That's not
eyes
too. That's a different species of beings or space people.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So this is the crazy thing. I've seen so many different species. I'm just like, there's so many. We are so small. Like there's just a ton of different stuff out there. It's insane.
Yeah.
But so they showed me. When they were going to give me my phone back, he told me my stomach was growling. I said, yeah. I'm hungry. And he put my hand on this pad, and they were already doing it. They were sitting on these, I guess you'd call them chairs. But they put their hands on this pad, and I guess that they were doing this for substance. It was going right through their hands. It was going right through. They were absorbing it through their body.
Wow.
So the one guy I got a picture of, you'll see on my thing, he moved his head. So it looks like his head's a little bit elongated, but he just moved a smidge, and the photo, you'll see it. His mouth looks like it's serrated. And they all talk telepathically anyways. I didn't see a mouth move on any of them.
Telepathic. They could talk with verbal language, but all our space family is telepathic, and they talk through consciousness. Well, we're now at about 1:09 in the morning. I have to have you back on here, man. Are you able to come back on tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have you on for a second part interview.
Okay.
I got on here about, I don't know what time it is anymore, about 10 minutes after 11 on the East Coast. I want to thank
Yeah, it's 1
UFO
o'clock.
Took Me.
Okay.
And give us your first name again.
Yeah, my name's Ryan Fusco.
Ryan, you've been a fantastic guest. You're a contactee without a question. You've been on the ship, so you got I think there's a relationship you have with them from their planet. I think you're a starseed. Obviously, you're human. You're living like me, a human life, but you're not just a human being. You know that already. That you come
Yeah.
from somewhere else, and you're connected with them. So that's a blessing, brother. You're having some
Yeah, I'm lucky.
beautiful experiences, and now you have
Absolutely.
a talk show here, the number one spiritual talk show on social media. You're always welcome here, and I'd love to hear
Thank
more
you.
of your stories. You got so much to talk about. It's like we just got into one chapter of your book. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're right. It is one chapter. It's crazy. Yeah, I got
You
like
know,
a
it
ton
really
of
is.
awesome stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
and
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And his page is ET Friends with Benefits. ET Friends with
Yeah.
Benefits.
Or FOZZBO. You can type in that FOZZBO. You guys will probably be able to find it. Yeah.
All right, man.
So-
Well, I want to thank you, man. You've been a blessing. You've been a great
Thank
guest.
you.
All my guests tonight have been great. Another great show. Thank you for being on here, and we're going to have you back on tomorrow night.
Awesome. Sounds good. I will be here.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take you down gently here.
All right.
And I'm getting news that my space father is dancing on Friends with Furries 1111. So if you want to follow me, I'm going to be signing off our show here. I'm going on Friends with Furries 1111. She's on now, and she's one of the 5 of us that are. She's been going off planet for over 50 times, and my space father evidently is dancing. He came through the rift. They are in the room dancing, and the space people come off the ship and they dance. She has a dance party, and they are dancing. So we're going to go watch. If you want to follow me over there, it's Friends with Fairies 1111. And if you're new to what she's doing, she is with us, and we are part of a group of 5 that are going off planet with her in the next few months, most likely. So, and there's a whole nother story here, folks, that will take too much to tell, but we'll tell it to you another time. I'm going to switch over there. I want to thank all the people for gifting. If you have any gifts you wish to do now, please do it. I'm going to switch over to my sister's live broadcast and just relax a little bit and watch what's happening. So please join us there. Friends with Fairies 1111 is the account. This is Encounters, the number one spiritual talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. We might be on tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. But again, thank you, everybody, for the necklace. Thank you for all the gifts. I would like to get more of the coffee cups. I still have a few coffee. I have 3 more to go. I need the caffeine to stay awake tonight, even though I'm not going to be on here. If anyone can give me some caffeine, the coffee cups, there's 3 left, and I need to really have that. Thank you for the rose, Alec Hassan. Thank you. But I can use the caffeine. I need the caffeine. There's 3 cups left of caffeine. Who's going to do it? See, it says here 6 of 10. You see the cup there? It's the magic coffee. I need 3 of those magic coffees to drink right now. I don't think anybody has enough TikTok coins to do it. I really don't know. On Earth, it's pretty funny here, being on this planet. But it would definitely give me some jump start with the caffeine. Yeah. It's the top thing that you'll see in the TikTok gifts. It's a coffee cup. Yeah. And everybody follow my show. Follow me. Follow. We are up to 74.2. I do want to get to 100,000. So before we all go here, everybody needs to tap. So in less than 5 minutes, we hit 100,000 likes. We're at 74.2. Look at the top. You have to tap the screen on my profile to make it go up. If you don't tap, the numbers don't go up. Everybody tap, the numbers go up. You see? There we go. Keep tapping. Every single person. But, well, thank you. That was just really good. I appreciate that. Man, that was the best coffee. Alcacent, thank you so much. I think I have 2 more coffee cups left. Do I have 2 more coffee cups left? I think there might be. Yeah. Actually, I have 3 more cups to go. I need 3 more coffee cups. I can't believe that. Let's see. Who would send me a coffee right now at 11:15? Please keep tapping. We're at 76.7. We're going to get to 100,000, and then you can all follow me over to my friends live. Terry, thank you. Terry, thank you. You're a blessing, Terry. Thank you for the coffee. It really helps the commander stay awake, especially after 1 o'clock in the morning. We're at 77.6. You look at the top, you'll see where we are. If everybody taps right now, we will get to 100,000 in a few minutes. I need everybody tapping. We're almost at 80,000. We need to get to 100,000. We're at 78.2. I'm looking at the numbers now. I'll even help. I can also tap here. I'm tapping right now. So I just tapped. So all you have to do is keep tapping. Jennifer, thank you for the roses. KCN, thank you for the roses. We appreciate everybody out here, new and old watchers of the show. We're at 79.6. I'm going to get us up to 80,000. Thank you, KCN. I'm tapping just as much as you are tapping. We're now 80,000. We need 20,000 more likes. All it takes is everybody to tap. If all 200 plus people tap the screen, we'll make it to 100,000 in 2 minutes. You see, I get everybody involved in my show here. Whether you're a guest or no guest, I like to get everybody involved. You know what I mean? We're at 81.6. Okay, I'm going to tap a little bit too to help everybody out. And all it takes is one tap. Keep tapping. We're at 82.8 right now. We're almost there, folks. I think we're going to do it. 83.2. I'm going to tap a little bit here. Almost there. We're at 84. 84.3. I'm looking at the numbers. They're going up there. We're almost at 90,000. We'll be there pretty quick if we keep going here. And this is Encounters, the countdown to 100,000. This is our final countdown for the night. And then we're going to switch over to Friends with Fairies. I invite everybody to join us who don't know. If you don't even know who she is one of the people that is a dear friend of ours. And we're all going off planet in a couple of months together. We're at 86, 87.2. 87.8. We're at 88. We're at 88.9. We're at 89.5. 90.2. Keep tapping, folks. We're at 92, 91.2. As we wind down, tonight's show was a fantastic show. I thank everybody for viewing the show, watching it. And this is, again, Encounters, the Spiritual UFO Talk Show with your host, CmdrAleon, on nightly after 11. And also, we're trying to do some morning shows. We're 94.2. Come on, folks. I don't think everybody's tapping the screen. If everybody were tapping the screen, we'd be at 100,000 right now. Let's get every single person. Just all it takes is one finger, tap the screen on the profile, and you will be able to bring us up. 96.2. Almost. I'm looking. I'm watching. I'm going to tap a little bit here. 97, 98. We're getting there. Almost there. And then we're going to switcheroo to Friends with Fairies 1111 as long as she's still on there. I don't know if she is or not. But if she is, you'll get to see a little wonderful thing that's going on there. We're at 100,000. There we go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your time. And thank you for all the people that came on being interviewed. This show will be on my YouTube channel sometime tomorrow morning. All right, buddy. I'm going to Friends with Fairies 1111, and we'll see if she's on. And if she is, the space people are probably in her home dancing. They love dancing, and they'll physically be in the room with her. They come out of the rift into the physical house environment, and they are human just like we are. Take care, everybody. We're going to sign out of here now. This has been Encounters, a show that's out of this world.